Hey everybody, I just wanted to come on and share some things that God has been teaching me. I just wanted to start off by saying that for anyone who knows me, they know that for about a month I've kind of retreated from everything. I literally have only been in communication with the people that are in my household and my younger sister. I have not been talking to anyone else. I really felt like I had to withdraw. I haven't been on social media. I just haven't been talking to anyone. I feel like I had one of those moments where God had me get alone as I could possibly get in my circumstances, and allow me to begin to be cultivated again. So I've been learning, and this phase has been different for me because it's completely out of the ordinary. I'm sure in the beginning most people felt like I was probably acting funny, trying to figure out what was going on, because it's not my norm to not respond, to not communicate, to not show up. Because who I am, I'm gonna show up. That's just who I am. But this past month, I just didn't have it. I did not have anything to give anyone. And that was a little scary for me because it made me really question where I was. And so I was having a hard time. I couldn't even find the words or the energy to articulate what was going on with me. So it's like most people still have no idea why I went silent and why I went absent. I just did not have the capacity to explain where I was. And I was just hoping that people would give me the grace to know me well enough to know that I wouldn't do it if it wasn't needed. But in those times where I was able to be alone, I knew God was doing a work in me. And I knew He was having me do some internal work. And it's like He's called me to a season of fasting and praying, like to be very deliberate with that and very purposeful with my time. And even in that, I was still questioning if I was hearing God. I would literally constantly second guess what I felt like I was hearing Him say. And so it kind of had me all over the place. But I serve a God who answers prayers. He definitely will give you the answer. It may not be the answer you want. It may not show up in the way that you're expecting, but He definitely answers. And about a week and a half ago, I got my answer. Now, when I retreated, like I said, if I could have stayed at home and not even had to work, I would have done that. But unfortunately, I have financial responsibility. So I was at work, and every day I always bring my backpack. My backpack will have my Bible, my highlighters and pens, my speaker, and my purse, headphone, all my stuff. I always have everything with me. And that night started off so hectic. About 3 pallets collapsed. We were already down a person, and we were just behind. And so I was focused on getting this job done. Now, before I actually jumped into my work, I decided to go ahead and buy me a couple of drinks and something to eat on. And after that, I remember going back to my basket, putting my stuff away. And as I went to walk away from my bag, I heard the Holy Spirit say, look at your bag. But because we were so behind, I overrode it. Even though when he said it, in my head I said, maybe my purse is showing. But I overrode it and went to work. I started breaking down these totes. And then a customer needed help, so I stopped what I was doing. I helped them. And then I went back to work. And eventually the store closes. And I continue to do what I need to do till the truck is completely broken down. And then I remember that my nephew's birthday is about 2 days away. So I go to buy him a card and put money in it. I go to my bag and my purse isn't there. And so I'm like, did I even put my purse back in my bag? I'm like, I don't know if I left it on the register. I don't know if I put it in my bag. I was all over the place looking for this purse and I could not find it. I was like, it's possible somebody found it and turned it in, so it's locked away. So I just go ahead and just turn the cards off. I don't cancel them. I just turn them off just in case I find it. And about 15 minutes later, I get a notification that says, from my Cash App card, which I never keep cash on, saying, your recent purchase at Shell, which I'm sure was gas because gas is high right now. Your recent purchase at Shell has been declined due to insufficient funds from my Cash App card. And I'm sitting there like, well, that's my answer. It was definitely stolen. So I go about canceling the cards. Now, I wasn't upset. I wasn't upset because, one, I caught it before it was stolen. I mean, before anybody tried to use the cards. But, you know, who wants to have their purse stolen? I continue to do my job. And I finish a shift. And then the next day I come back and I watch the cameras to see what happened. And sure enough, because like I said, I couldn't remember if I left it on the register or if I left it in my bag. And I'm looking at the cameras and I see I have my purse on as I leave the register. So I'm like, okay, well, definitely wasn't stolen from the register. That means it was stolen out of my bag. And that's when it hit me that you heard the Holy Spirit say, look at your bag. And you ignored it. And now your purse is stolen. So I was like, well, I heard the Holy Spirit. Like, that was my answer. Like, I know I'm hearing from God. But I didn't listen. And it just so happened to have been the very customer that I had just helped that stole my purse. I wasn't even mad. I was just disappointed because, unfortunately, it lives up to the stereotype that they put on us. But as I sat there and I was thinking about it, like, yes, because I'm thinking about, yes, okay, I'm definitely hearing from God. I had to learn that way, but I'm definitely hearing him. But then I heard the Holy Spirit say, now go deeper than that. And it was like I got this gut punch, like, okay, you asked me to answer you on whether or not you're hearing me. And then I give you the sign that you are hearing me. But then when you hear me, you ignored me. And then he was like, what is the purpose of knowing you hear me if when you hear me, you're going to dismiss it? And at that time, I had to sit and evaluate the priority I put on my relationship with Christ. Like, that should be first and foremost. Like, I had to sit there and think, like, have I left my first love? Like, have I neglected my relationship with Christ to fulfill this job, to fulfill entrepreneurship, any relationship? Like, I literally had to sit and think about where I'm prioritizing things in my life. And it was scary because I never wanted to be the person that claimed to be a believer, but didn't truly have a consistent relationship with God. I didn't want to be the person that people assumed had this amazing prayer life and had this beautiful relationship with God. And in actuality, my spiritual life is dead. So I really had to sit with myself and do some work. And I'm sure that's why God allowed that to happen in the time where he had me retreat, because it left me no choice but to figure stuff out. I didn't try to go to nobody else. Like, of course, my family knew what happened, but I wasn't looking to them trying to get an answer. I was literally looking at God, because at that point, I'm like, yes, he allowed me. I heard him. So he tried to warn me, but he also knew if she does not obey me, I'm going to have to allow something to get her attention. And so he allowed this lady to steal my purse, because I can't deny that I know I heard him, especially when I said what I said. I literally said that maybe my purse is showing and overrode it. So that's to say, I wish I didn't have to learn that way. I wish I would have been obedient and just done what he said from jump. But I'm also grateful that he loves me enough to have gotten my attention, to have went as far as to let me have to hit my head to get the lesson. Because I know for sure that this lesson came before something even more serious happens in the future. To know that I hear him, and to know that when I hear him, to not dismiss it. Because me dismissing what I hear him say could put me in danger, could put me in a situation where I could have completely avoided this had I been obedient. But I'm grateful, because even in that, he still showed me mercy by allowing me to catch it before my cards were used. Because originally, when he first told me to go ahead and get my nephew's card, I was like, you know what, I'm going to just wait till the end of my shift. But he was persistent, like, no, go ahead and do it now. And that allowed me to catch it before she tried to use it. So I'm like, even with a God that allows me to learn the hard way, he still gives me grace. He still gives me mercy. He shows me mercy in my disobedience. I'm like, that's the kind of God I serve. And why wouldn't I want to serve a God like that? So right now, I am starting to come out of the phase of feeling like I needed to isolate myself. I'm not completely out there, but I'm definitely, I'm coming out with a different perspective and understanding where my time needs to be put in order for it to be effective, where it matters the most. And I'm grateful for everyone who understood that my silence and absence wasn't anything personal. It wasn't personal against them. It was something I had to do for me. But I know God is working. I know God is preparing all of us. I know he's preparing the body. So I'm grateful that before he really does a move, he's getting me together so I can be ready for what happens. I love him, and I'm grateful that I know him. And I'm excited for what God is doing and the woman of God that he's molding me to be, because with everything that he's allowed me to go through, I know he's going to get so much glory out of my life, and I'm excited to see how he uses me. I can't wait to see how I'm able to touch others' lives with what he's allowed me to learn, because it would be a shame and a travesty to have gone through the things I went through and not use it to build others. I know what I went through wasn't just about me. And so I'm hoping that with everything that he's allowed me to experience, that I'm able to use those things to catapult somebody else's journey with him. Because that's what it's about. We are here to bring others to him. He showed us the light, and now we're to be the light for others. And that's what my goal is. So from here on out, I'm trying to figure out how to use everything that God has given me to make sure that I'm allowing his kingdom to come and to shine in me and through me. And so I hope this video makes you think. I hope it blesses you. I hope it shows you that you can ask God questions. You can question him. He's a God that answers. He loves you enough to know that we don't know everything. And so there are times that we're going to need him to speak, to let us know what's going on, because he wants that. He wants that relationship. He wants you to trust him enough to know that he has your back. And I definitely learned that recently. I learned the hard way. I definitely learned the hard way, but I learned. And though I am grown, I am still growing. And I just want everybody to know that you can trust him. I'm not trying to worry about nothing that I know I can't handle. Like, I know I'm not in control. I'm giving it to him, and I'm trying to make sure my will is aligned with his will, because ultimately, though there are many plans in a man's heart, his plan is the one that's going to prevail. So when I align with him, that's when what I want, all those desires come to pass, because they're his desires as well. So I love y'all, and I hope you have an amazing day. And I just hope you think on what I said. I love y'all. Bye-bye.